All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm Vincent Devall. We are the Eagles Nest Podcast. I'm here with Mr.
Brad Brewer, also with all that stuff he said.
And powered by eXp Realty. This week, we're going to do a little recap. We're going to talk about a few things such as why we love working with first-time home buyers, which is kind of fun and exciting. It's kind of like, I hate to say it, but kind of like we're training a baby or a child sometimes. And then we're just going to recap a little bit of our golf trip. We won't spend a lot of time on golf because we're pretty obsessed in that. Kind of bores people, especially my wife. And then we'll talk also a little bit about Father's Day. Happy belated Father's Day to all the dads out there. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you guys had a great day. I know I did with the kiddos. So it was a good time. Got to watch my oldest Finnish player last soccer game, and it's amazing after 8 weeks of soccer how much more competitive she is and going after the ball. So it's kind of cool. But anyways, let's get started here. We got about 30 minutes to chat your brains off about let's start with the epic golf trip. 9th anniversary of our golf trip. Brad's second time on this trip with us, but 9th anniversary of our golf trip, and we were out in Reno / Lake Tahoe this year, and it was I would say it's probably one of our better trips when it comes to courses.
I mean, obviously I have a smaller sampling, but yeah, that I've never taken so many pictures.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
We should try and work in our edited version of this non-live Facebook version. Maybe we should some of those photos, because they were, all I can say is, sometimes there's shots when you're on the tee box, look really cool.
Yeah.
You can take a photo there, and then when you get down to the green, you could shoot a shot back. It felt like on almost every hole.
Oh,
of every course.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just so, I was the first to admit, I've told my wife this, I think all of you guys this. I would have never thought in 100 years to go out to Reno area for anything. Sorry, Reno. I 100% apologize. I'm an idiot. I apparently did not study geography as well as I thought I did in school. And I'm a person that's been to 38 of the 50 states, including Nevada, but not Reno.
Right. Well, and keep in mind, Reno is just our home base. Our golf took us to state line Nevada, which is right on the border of California and Nevada, and it was where Edgewood was located. That's where the Pro-Am the celebrity golf tournament's held.
American Century Pro-Am Classic, I think.
Something like that. And it's a bunch of athletes, actors, famous people that go out there and golf.
For the local folks in Burlington, Tony Romo usually plays in it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. But
I think he competed. I think he did pretty well last year.
Yeah. Edgewood, gorgeous course right on Lake Tahoe, on the south side of Lake Tahoe. But just, it was epic. So from Reno to Edgewood, it was about an hour 15 drive. And then we were up in Truckee at Old Greenwood, where the Barracuda Championship was played.
Which is, and that's in California.
That was in California, Truckee, California.
Yep.
And then we were at Grizzly Ranch, which is the number 9th ranked public course in the U.S. on Golf Digest Top 100s, and it is in Portola, California, and that was about 45 minutes, and Truckee was about 35 minutes from our hotel. So, even though we're in Reno, we had a little bit of a drive. A lot of our golf was played in California, and then on the last day we're at Lake Ridge in Reno, which of course, the municipal course. It was nice. Greens were tough as shit, and that was our 6th round in 4 days.
Arguably the coolest hole though.
Yes.
There was a island par 3 that played from Marty's that day. Was it 205?
205.
And of our foursome, I will happy to say both Vince and I put it on the green.
Yep.
So that's we'll brag on that one, because I think that training at number 3 at Hawksview. Yeah, probably trained us for that course.
Yeah,
for that hole.
3 and 17.
Yep, 3 and 17.
Well, and three
because it's late.
Three plays 190 some yards sometimes.
Yeah. Exactly.
So great. Like I said, we played 6 rounds over 4 days. We played Thursday 18, Friday 36, Saturday 36, and Sunday 18. I mean, we call it Death by Golf or Shit Show Golf Show. It was pretty cool.
Plus you get the dinners, the after.
Eight of us. Then there's the after hours,
activities.
I think on the average, I was getting 3 hours of sleep a night, 3 or 4 hours of sleep,
Probably
self-induced, and
most
put
of
me in
it.
a casino, it's trouble.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's
It
a fun,
is.
it's a fun trip. All right, so let's before we get off this, let's rate the courses. Go 1 through 4.
1 through 4. I'm gonna start with Lake Ridge at number 4.
Okay.
I'm gonna go.
I'm also gonna go Lake Ridge number 4. Love the greens though.
Man, I'm gonna have to Grizzly Ranch. This was tough. Grizzly Ranch. I really enjoyed Grizzly Ranch. The only thing I didn't like about Grizzly Ranch was no beverage card out.
Yeah, that was
36 holes and no beverage card out. You always had to hit the turn, which so be it. But
then Old Greenwood, no, not really a really functional clubhouse.
yeah, Old Greenwood, no functional clubhouse. So
In fairness to them, they were building a new wedding. They were remodeling the old one as a new wedding venue.
Yeah.
And they were just about to or just breaking ground on the new
On the
clubhouse.
pro top, yeah.
It's just timing wise.
So I'm gonna have to go with Edgewood from start to finish. It's gotta be number 1.
Yes.
The clubhouse, the course, the views, really. I mean, it was all fairly straight too. I mean, there wasn't a lot of dog legs or really. I mean, it was narrow, but not really difficult holes. So still, I have to go Edgewood 1, Grizzly Ranch 2, Old Greenwood 3, Lake Ridge 4.
Yeah, okay. I think we're the same. I've gone back and forth on Grizzly Ranch versus Old Greenwood.
Okay.
I think I'm probably actually gonna put Grizzly Ranch 3 or
Okay.
2, excuse me. So I'm just a slight flip from you. Edgewood just because of
No, Grizzly Ranch is 2 for me.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. Grizzly Ranch is 2.
Oh, then we are the same. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the same. I almost flipped Old Greenwood, but
The other downside to Old Greenwood was, when it is car path only, it seems like you don't quite get to enjoy the course as much.
yeah, Old Greenwood, which I think I agree. That could have played a hand in it.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
I mean, Old Greenwood, just a number of things, just bad timing, but the course is amazing. Was the whole construction that was going on with facilities, and then although it was the nicest outhouse
Oh, yeah.
or temporary restroom, porta potty, whatever you want to call it, I've ever been in.
Yeah.
It was basically a trailer.
And then on Saturday, we dealt with a little bit of rain, a little bit of hail.
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon, we third or fourth hole of the day, I think, or third or fourth hole in the second round of the day.
Mhm.
Hail came in and it was enough to cover the greens to where there's a couple pictures out there where there's green grass around the green and the green is covered in white hail. We had probably about a 15-minute delay there, I would say. Give or take.
And then the something I never experienced for the crazy pollen
Oh yeah,
storm. Is that called?
the pollen in the trees, and they're big pine trees. That the storm came in, the wind picked up, and you can just see like this yellow cloud of dust getting released from the trees. It was pretty cool.
Two things just every time I think about it make me laugh. I just never saw a cloud of greenish yellow coming at you. Like it sounded coming through the trees that we were about to get hit by a rain.
Yep.
And then and I'm an idiot, so I stood there and watching. As I hear this, or we think it's rain coming, Tim Payne. I've never seen someone have their rain gear on themselves and their clubs so fast. I bent over because I'm like, well, I'll go ahead and tee up. If it rains. By the time I bent down from my tee and stood, he had his rain gear on himself and his clubs.
That's pretty.
And then of course it's the pollen storm, which then I got a laugh out of that. So
hey, but he was ready when the rain hit. 5 minutes later,
he was already ready when the rain hit. The
Yeah.
rest of us had to scramble.
Yeah,
So,
it was definitely a lot of a scramble.
But yeah, very unique courses though, super amazing. I'm going 1. Edgewood just was oh my god.
Glad we played that day 1 too. I think it kind of set the tone for the rest of the trip, and no course really disappointed this year, which was pretty cool. So now we're already planning for next year. There's some things in the works. We won't give out any secrets, but there's one particular course might be a little tough for us to play, but we'll figure it out. So moving on, let's do Father's Day. Happy Father's Day again to those dads out there, those dads that are fill-in dads, substitute dads, whatever you want to call yourself. Hey, thank you for what you do.
Father figures.
Father figures, yeah, role models, whatever it might be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what'd you do, Brad? You look like you got a little son.
I did. So as you know, I've been playing that amateur tour.
Oh yeah, more golf for Brad.
Golf week amateur tour. So I did that on Saturday. Did not play well. Was really upset because I was going into that. So I did that on Saturday, then went home Saturday night. It was, of course, Father's Day weekend for golfers too, is the US Open.
Yep.
It's always on Father's Day weekend. That was an awesome tournament. Very cool course. Los Angeles Country Club. Never seen it, never been there. On TV, it just looked really cool. So wife worked all day Saturday as well. She worked. I played.
You played.
We grilled and just hung out Saturday, and then yesterday we went over to her brother's, also a father, and had some of Andrew's family from Michigan that were supposed to come into town but came in early. Weren't expecting that, so ended up a long day at her brother's, and then in the morning I cleaned the house and did laundry. Just what every father wants to do on Father's Day.
Exactly. Nice.
Yeah, so that was my Father's Day, but it was really nice. Stacia wasn't home at the start of the day, but obviously hung out with her, and she got me a awesome, very cool golf shirt that I will be displaying this week.
All right, can't wait to see that. And knowing his daughter, it's probably got a little bit of color, a little bit of flair to it.
It's got some color. It's not the paint splatter one's probably my wildest one.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not that crazy.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
But it's cool.
We're working on Brad expanding his clothing line and his comfort level.
Yeah, because considering I wear blue, gray, black, and occasionally red. In fact, I have green on today's actually.
Yeah, that's kind of impressive.
I know.
Yeah, but he is. If we took a picture of Brad every day, it'd be blue, gray, blue, black, blue t-shirt, red t-shirt, blue.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm very simple. So
yeah.
All right.
Keep it simple.
All
Keep
right.
it simple, stupid. Yeah. So yesterday we got up. The girls gave me my gifts. We opened cards. I then attacked a little bit of house projects because Skylar had soccer yesterday, and then I had a listing appointment last night. So I had to do a little bit of work, a little bit of play. Got the ladder in the pool. The pool's set up for summer, which is nice. Heater's working. So got to swim with the girls a little bit yesterday afternoon, and then had my listing appointment, then went to dinner. We went to Wild Child's in Twin Lakes, had dinner on the lake there. It was gorgeous. It was so nice. Sat there, nice little breeze coming off the lake.
That's the one around Lake Mary, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I think it's been Wild Child for a long time now, but
I guess in 4 or 5 years now.
I started to change names a few times.
Yep. So. Yeah. I think it's been 4 or 5 years. It's been Wild Child. They actually just updated their menu, a whole new menu, and a pizza menu. But I had their Italian beef pizza last night. It was really good. Sauce was good. Had a little bit of spice. I like a little bit of spice. So it worked out really, really well. And sat there. My mother-in-law, who was staying with us until today, mother-in-law, father-in-law, mother-in-law took the kids back, and father-in-law and I sat there and had a couple more drinks. So it was pretty enjoyable.
Because the wife is out of town, right?
Yeah, she's out of town. She's in Orlando for work until Wednesday morning, Tuesday night, somewhere in there. I don't know, she'll probably be waking me up about 1 a.m. when she rolls in.
So you got really good quality kid time and in-law time on Father's Day weekend, it sounds like.
Yeah, she left at 3:00, so I got to see her for a little while. So yeah.
Nice.
Too bad.
So nice relaxing weekend.
Yeah.
Sounds like by everybody.
Yep.
And I'm just thank you. I'm now hungry for an Italian beef pizza. Appreciate that. I'm very traditional in my pizza. I'm a red sauce pizza guy. I don't get into a lot of the different types like the barbecue chickens. But I've had some good Italian beef pizzas, and that's where I stray.
There you go.
So
there you go.
Now I'm hungry. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Whatever I can do for everybody. Let's get into first-time home buyers. We talked about this. First-time home buyers are very unique breed of buyers. One, because this is my interpretation. We'll go into this. Obviously, they're new, they're green, they know nothing. They need a lot of hand holding, which is great. But they're also a little naive at times, just like a young child would be. They're a little naive to what the process is. They think, and I think first time home buyers in today's market, they feel that they should be getting a deal. So if a house is listed at 300, they should be getting it for 275 because they've heard stories about how a few years back everyone was getting homes for under a list price. Well, we have to train them that that's not today's market.
They have to be trained on a couple areas, and I want to get in on that. And where mistakes that I know I've made as a realtor and working with first-time home buyers. But before we get into the mistakes part, what's your favorite part about working with a first-time home buyer?
The excitement.
Don't limit it to one.
The excitement, the ability to help them envision them either buying their first home, raising a family in a home, whatever that might be. But I think it's the excitement and the eagerness to go out there. And then the other part I really enjoy about working with first-time home buyers is kind of bringing them back to reality and reeling them into realization, helping them understand, because you get so excited, you get pre-approved, and first-time home buyers, if you're looking to buy, make sure you get pre-approved. So that's nothing's worse than finding that house that you're excited about and you want to write an offer on, and you don't have a pre-approval letter to submit with it. You are now officially screwed.
Oh yeah,
because
it's a major letdown.
Yeah, because if you're not pre-approved, then you find out, oh, your spouse has outstanding debt, and it's on both. You planned on both of you being the buyers, or you didn't realize that your ex still hasn't paid off that car that you co-signed with him. Whatever it might be, there's a lot of different scenarios out there, but let's get pre-approved to make sure all those ducks are in a row.
I mean, I had a learning curve a few years ago. This is a realtor. You're self-employed essentially,
right?
We're independent contractors, so we're no longer W-2s. Lenders like W-2s. It's a much more traditional, easy way. They know it. Not all lenders work well at 1099s. And I felt there's a few years ago, we ended up not being able to get a house that I thought for sure we were gonna get it for, and we just didn't.
Yeah.
That wasn't even first-time home buyer. There's just assumptions there. I think that's where the first-time home buyer is like, well, this is the interest rate, this, I'm sure I will. But as Vince just mentioned, there's just a lot of things that just are almost little sneaky credit reports that you just may not aware about. I mean, I'll say, I don't know if I'm sure I'm not alone in the room, the big room, whoever listens to this. I've had those little $30 medical bills that you miss them, whatever, and then all of a sudden they're in collections 90 days later, and it's on your credit report.
Yeah. Well, and talking about 1099 employees, there's Brad, when your scenario example, there wasn't as many 1099 employees as there is today. I think since COVID hit, we're seeing more and more 1099 employees. More people had decided that working in corporate America wasn't for them. Thank you, that's me. And they joined the 1099 world. May it be subcontracting out, may it be traveling. I'm going to use a great example of a current buyer right now, traveling nurse who's a 1099 employee. Even your Amazon delivery people that are subcontracted, your
Uber drivers,
Lyft. Yeah, I mean, those people make really good money, but there is no way to track it. I mean, and if you're self-employed and you are taking cash under the table,
or in that case, even some W-2 employees like servers,
right? Yeah,
there's a certain portion of the cash, and the servers I've worked with lately have had to just make sure claim all of it.
Right, claim all your tips.
Claim all of it.
Yeah, especially if you're.
Of course, they always do IRS.
I think we all know better.
We all know better.
And if you think that different, you're SOL. All right, so first-time home buyers. So what excites you about first-time home buyers, Brad?
One of the first thing you said, definitely that excitement, that it's the excitement, and then that goes along with the excitement is the nervousness,
right?
And I love seeing that. It's just cool. I don't know why, because that's the negative part of their feelings, I guess, but I just think it's neat. But then be able to take that and say, all right, I'm going to walk you through this.
Yeah.
And that's definitely one. That's definitely from a personal side. I feel like they're more appreciative too.
Yeah.
Not that I haven't, and I've definitely don't want to say that I don't have appreciative clients overall that have bought hundreds of homes. I definitely do. But there's just that extra layer, like they're so appreciative, they're so excited. And that's it. From the business side of it, I also like talking to the first time home buyers. Like, one, they're a client, they're like their best potential client for life.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you catch someone the first house, they're going to sell that first house, they're going to buy a second one. You know, as a realtor, that's 3, 4, 5, 6 deals, transactions. You're going to work with this person. They're also some of your best refers. So from the business side, I love that too. And I love and back to the personal side of it, I love watching them grow.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a couple clients that I've literally basically they bought and or sold every house. They're on their 4th one now. And it's so cool, which also makes you feel old.
Yeah.
So those are the things that really excite me. And then talking to them about how every home is an investment.
Yeah.
Not all investments work out just like you're gonna make a ton of money, but then talking about the differences between that and the rent. Those are things that I
What do you think a first time home buyer's biggest mistake is when they're looking to buy a house?
Well, I think the biggest one you covered is there's a major letdown if you're not pre-approved. So definitely do that. Understand your budget.
I think, and that's where I was gonna go. I think that is one of the biggest mistakes first time home buyers, you know, originally. The second thing that makes sense not get pre-approved is not understanding or knowing their budget because of some simple things. They use calculators out there, and I use mortgage calculators too to help buyers out. But my mortgage calculator allows us to put in things like taxes, HOA, PMI, homeowners insurance. A lot of first time home buyers, they just go, oh, this house is 300,000 and my interest rate is going to be 6.5%. Okay, great. That means my payment is $2,000 a month. Well, they don't take in the taxes, PMI, because they're only putting down 3.5%. And all of a sudden their payments are $2,700, $2,800 a month. And they're like, what? How? Why? And then they have that they just become deflated because they don't capture all that.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a huge mistake our first time home buyers I see making all the time.
And then probably one of the next ones would be expectations of certain parts of the process. You know, what's an acceptable thing to ask for from inspections? And the answer to that is, and this is why this sort of, you know, an agent can really come in play, is that depends on the market. You know, the market we've been in the last few years, sorry, you can't ask for every little, even some of the safety defects.
Right.
You probably are going to lose out on the deal. So then you have to decide, you have to have that conversation, how much do I really want this home? How patience is another one that goes with it. Versus, you know, if it's a buyer's market, you can go safety defects and sometimes beyond because the seller just wants to get the house sold. So a lot of that, you know, market conversations is something that they need to know about.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm gonna touch on this kind of I'm gonna go and speak to a touchy one, parents.
If you guys can hear it, so yeah, no.
Parents can really, and I know it's always the best intentions, but the best intentions can really wreck a really good opportunity. And I've seen it happen a few times where, you know, they're just saying things are wrong with the house, or what's wrong is from something that doesn't even make sense. I mean, the one that sticks out of my head, I remember we were in a house and the concrete downstairs was bust up where the water line comes in the house.
Yeah.
And I could tell where it came from, that likely there was a mistake in the plans, because they initially put it when the foundation was poured right where the stairs came down. So of course, once they realized that, they bust up the concrete, they moved it to the side of the stairs, of course, but there's patched concrete. It looked nice. It's just, but you could tell.
Yeah.
They had to redig that water line. And the mom kept saying, oh, it must have collapsed. And I'm sitting here going, no, I think they just need to move. And I told them why, without even knowing. Like, this is likely it. I'll confirm. Of course, I confirmed it. But she was just convinced and wouldn't let it go, that the line had collapsed. There's probably some issues. Trees are tearing up everything outside. And I'm like, that was the only time I ever pulled a mother outside and was like, you can't come inside anymore.
Yeah.
I had the buyer's blessing because they were feeling it too. But I'm like,
Yeah.
And it's a tough conversation. It's like, I know you have the best intentions, but please let us do our job.
Yeah.
So, but those are definitely some of the top challenges. Anything else you can think of that's mistakes or mistakes we make?
I think mistakes that we make is sometimes we assume they know something or they remember something.
Mhm.
So we, especially during a buyer consultation, we give them a lot of information.
We do.
And I think we just kind of assume they grasped all that. So I think, just like teaching anybody, young, old, new, whatever it might be, you sometimes have to take a step back and you have to regurgitate something, and kind of repeat it till they completely understand it. Because let's be honest, we're all guilty of it. If someone tells us something a couple times, you're like, oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
And then in the back of my head, I'm going to Google going, what the fudge did my agent just tell me about appraisals? Oh yes, I got it. I remember now. So we can't assume they remember everything. We have to, until they go, oh yeah, no, this is what it is, and they repeat it back to us, or they confirm or acknowledge that they fully understand. We have to, treat them like they don't know, because they don't do this.
Yeah,
they do this 5 times a lifetime. For some people.
I like what you said there, and I became aware recently. I made that exact mistake. I went because during an initial consultation with especially a first-time home buyer, but any buyer.
Yeah.
I went through the entire process from the start. We're going to do this, this, the inspections and appraisals and this. I went through the whole if this then that kind of scenario, and then I didn't redo it.
Yeah.
I just assumed they got it because, well, of course I got it because, well, geez, I've been doing this for a decade. And they gave me the feedback and I appreciate it. I said, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I did that. And I feel really bad about that because I assumed I would never assume again. I'd probably just say, here's an overview. There are some scenarios that could occur. And every time we hit one of these steps, I'm going to go through it with you.
Yep.
As we enter it. That was a mistake.
And that
was a huge mistake.
And that's not just first time home buyers. I same thing at a listing presentation last night. And we got to, we got through the listing part of it. And then I said, once we get offers, we'll address that at that time, because there are different scenarios based on the offers. There's different types of contingencies. There's different types of terms in the offer. So when that time comes, instead of, overwhelming you with it right now, we'll focus on that when they're presented to us one at a time. And then we'll talk about how they can differ and not differ at that point in time. But I knew right then there, it was, hour and a half in, we were deer in headlights. I wasn't going to get them any farther. I had to kind of tone it back, be like, all right, we'll address this stuff when it comes.
Well, and I remember having the conversation. I remember them, like, they gave me such assuredness that they got it the first time. I think that stuck with me. And but that I should not have done that. That's a big mistake. And I felt bad. Now the transaction overall went smooth, happy, they love the house, all that good stuff. But I'm like, yeah, I kind of just assumed you knew more, or that you got everything the first time. And that's a mistake. So those are definitely mistakes agents can make. I think the other mistake though is, I know in this, thankfully I've not made this mistake. Just assuming they knew everything to start with, or asking the question. I think this is what happens a lot. Are you pretty comfortable with everything that's going on, or it's going to occur, or do you need help? And that overconfident first time home buyer is like, oh yeah, I got this. I've watched $1 Million Listing 100 times. I know what's going on.
And let's be honest, like it is human nature to not ask for help.
Exactly.
We are humans. We're like, no, I don't want to ask for someone else's help. That's people just, they don't like to do it. So we have to assume they don't know. We're going to give them that help no matter what.
Exactly. So I think those are some mistakes realtors make, but but I love the first time home buyers. My wife even recognizes it, and I don't even talk about that with her. She's like, she tells people, all of a sudden she'll be like, he really loves working with first time home buyers. I'm like, really, do I? But I actually do. I love it.
Yeah,
so
they're fun. So this is the end of our half an hour today. Vince Devall, Eagle Homes, powered by EXP, and this is the Eagles Nest podcast.
And I'm Brad Brewer, wearing a green shirt. And we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week, everyone. Bye.